Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Movie Social. We are your hosts, Ricky and Stefan.
What up, though?
Today's episode, we're going to be doing a spoiler review for the Starz hit series, P Valley, Episode 4. And before we begin, yes, this has been picked up for a Season 2, finally. Picked up last week. And don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. Drop comments in the comments below. And, of course, share the channel with everybody else.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, man.
Yes, it is also below our names. All right, so without further ado, P Valley Episode 4. Man, I thought Episode 3 had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, Episode 4 got into it.
Mm-hmm. In the beginning with the mom, Mercedes' mom at the church, and then how the pastor kept trying to take the mic out of her hand on the pulpit, and then go in the back, pull her to the side, have a little chat with her. Listen, women aren't going to be preaching in my church.
That down south mentality is ridiculous.
I was like, first of all, that is so sexist, and that was way backwards right there. I'm like, really? But then you could see basically what she was going to do then at that point. So, yeah, hopefully you guys watch that part. So.
I'm just going to give you a look. I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world because I grew up in a church who had a women preacher, pastor, and a woman.
But I could have sworn always, generally, if it's the first lady, the pastor's wife, they always preach too. Anyway,
yeah, so but see, I had a woman pastor, and I had a woman assistant pastor, and the lady who married me at my wedding was the assistant pastor when I was growing up. So it's just like, geez, man, like that down south thinking is ridiculous. But I digress.
Yes, it is. Well, it is what it is. It eventually did lead the mom to keep dunking Mercedes for her money back, over 20 stacks.
I know we're talking about Mercedes, but what is Autumn Night doing with this bread?
We're going to talk about that in a second. Anyway, so before we get into Autumn and all of them, we're going to wrap up the whole Mercedes thing. Because we're going to go from character to character for this one.
Bro.
So, she's been ducking her Mercedes this whole episode, basically. Mercedes needs this down payment so she can get her spot for her gym.
Yep.
Because now, all of a sudden, once the lady finds out what Mercedes wants it for, she's kind of like, yeah, I don't think that's going to work out financially for her.
Yeah. So,
she's trying to get it to somebody else that's going to provide the money on an income steady basis.
And she asked for the money by the end of the week, and she said, I got you.
Yep, and then it turned into, I need it by midnight tonight. I got other buyers. Turns out the other buyers, her mom. Mercedes' own mom, putting down payment. I'm having my own church here. Mercedes looked at her like...
Before we get into that whole spat, the funniest moment on the show up to date was this. Mom, what are you doing? That's your mom?
Let me get rolled out.
That was hilarious.
The realtor really hauled out of there. She cleared that scene.
Skated off. Didn't have no time, kind of like resolution or nothing. Like, didn't try to like make up. She was like, and just skated. Terrible. That was terrible.
And then so what ensued next? Mom really gonna say that God told her. All right, hold on, time out. God told you to steal your own daughter's money, put it as a church. No. That was your selfish needs.
Yes, facts.
That chose to put it as your own church.
Facts.
And then so, you know what happened next? Mercedes started fighting her own mother. Like, they literally started fighting. Mercedes had her in a headlock at one point. Yes. I thought weave was about to start flying. I thought everything was going to start flying. I thought she was about to have her mom go to the other side for a second there.
A quick thing, though. That I realized, when a person, I believe I said this in one of the reviews, when a person plays a role so good, you just don't like them at all.
Correct.
She is playing this role so good. And again, I probably said this. She's probably the nicest lady in the world. She's probably the nicest lady in the world, but I cannot stand this character, yo.
All right, when she really said that she put it for her own church and that God told her to do that, it got right under my skin badly. So I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So God told you to commit one of the 10 Commandments.
Not still.
Yeah. Like, yeah, where does that happen at? Nah.
Well,
Stop
yeah.
using your own personal game.
It sucked, man. I feel so bad for Mercedes,
But
man.
on top of that, this was all happening during Mercedes' night.
Yep.
She missed her big performance because of her own mother. While she was supposed to go on stage, you know what was happening though? Mississippi hopped up on that stage instead though.
Cricket letter,
Did he finally get it?
Humpback, I finally got it. It only took 4 episodes though. But yo.
Yeah, so she took the stage and killed it.
Did she ever kill it, man? Like
Mercedes
I said, pole dancing is an art form, and that was some beautiful art.
And not only did she do that, she did it to Little Murder's song.
Whoa.
She did it to Little Murder's song. And at that same time, Little Murder and Uncle Clifford was having a moment in Uncle Clifford's office here.
Yo, I just thought Witchcraft was going to roll in there. He probably would have been like, "Oh, what in the world?" I thought the cloud room or something. But I thought he was gonna roll in there.
But Uncle Clifford did lock the door though.
So
at least he was smart to lock the door.
I'm gonna just say this, right? It's an adult TV show, obviously.
Well, they didn't even actually show that as much as they showed other things.
Yeah, but my whole thing is, I didn't have an issue with it. It was just surreal for me.
Well,
I was
the whole episode was surreal to me.
I was like, ew.
So yeah,
they now on a good time in the room.
Now before we get to Autumn Night, we're gonna rewind a little bit for Little Murder, who tried to get his music played when the event first started, but DJ never scared.
Was scared. He was scared because he didn't want what you call him jumping down his throat.
Of course, you gonna have to have Mercedes approval on that one.
Yeah.
But at the end of the night, of course, he did play that.
It was a good song. It was finally a good song.
And it actually flowed well with Mississippi and her performance. But when Little Murder came up to approach Mercedes when she was in the VIP with her friend / neighbor, whoever the hell he is, B.
Do you know he's a football player in real life? I think that's Felix Jones.
I don't know. I gotta double check.
When you double check,
I think I've seen him in something that he was in something else.
But I really think that's Felix Jones.
But I'm guessing he's supposed to be the OG gangster on the show because of the way he tried to act in there. Even though I'm like, first of all, the way he responded to Little Murder coming up to Mercedes, trying to get her attention just to say something to her.
Yeah, I felt it was a little too much.
Yeah, like that was a little over the top. I guess because he felt threatened. Like most of these so-called tough guys that get threatened, feel threatened, when another man approaches. But who knows?
Whatever.
But at least she put him in his place for a second there.
Yeah, just chill out. It wasn't that deep.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to Autumn Night for real, man.
All right, so with Autumn Night, we know 100% sure now that her daughter's gone.
Yes.
She broke down. Like, first of all, that whole scene, I'm like, really? Really? What did y'all think, like, with that scene? Autumn Night, first of all, they arguing. He takes it to another level. She takes it to another level. Then he takes it to another level, and then she just breaks down and cries.
I mean, that happens during conversation. I mean, arguments.
I know. I'm just saying, I thought she was just going to try and keep going, taking it to another level, but I mean, I guess at some point you can only hold in so much emotions, and then it pours out.
I just want to know what she's doing with this $9,000 every. I don't know. So I don't know how she's getting this money. She's obviously doing fraud with
it is fraud that she's doing, but I don't know where the money's coming from.
How? You have to have someone's bank account information for one.
Well, it depends if she's taking out a loan in that person's name.
But $9,000 every day or every other day? That's wild.
Technically, it was 9,000. It was 8,000 something. Because remember, once you hit 9,000, that's the IRS is looking into that.
But it's just like, and then like she washed it in alcohol to make it seem like she was getting it from the club.
Yeah.
And then she went to the bank. So it's just like,
let's pause for a second. The teller.
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was another funny part.
Upset because her husband apparently goes to the Pynk. Look.
I don't get the whole thing with women being upset with strippers.
Well, I can understand it if the husband is spending all the money there and not covering bills.
That's different.
Not covering, not even giving the wife nothing.
That's different. I'm talking about the people who actually like take care at home and just go out every now and again.
She responded, he probably ain't.
That's true. But
I mean, definitely looking at some of the guys that's in there spending their whole paychecks and then ain't got nothing left to go back home with.
Yeah, man.
Just like the coach went and got Mercedes a chain.
Their chain looked cheesy as I don't know what though, by the way.
But she gave it off to the other man. Yeah, just go get your kids something nice.
That was hilarious. I mean, all in all, man, this season is great. So glad that they got season 2 already in the work. Well, I don't know how it's gonna be in the works with everything that's going on.
But I'm hoping season 2 is gonna be longer than season 1 because season 1 is only supposed to be 8 episodes.
Yes, but this one thing that I realized. I don't know if you follow Mississippi on Facebook, not Facebook, Twitter. She said that if you enjoyed episode 4, the next episode, I think which his name is Belly, I think she said that was the name of it. Episode 5 is even better. So I cannot wait until that drops.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping it's like Snowpiercer where each episode gets better and better.
Yeah.
So far it has gotten better and better, so we have to wait and see.
And as you did say, this may be the new age of, you know how you said Power, not dragged, but propped up Starz. This may be Starz' new
big hit.
And so far it looks good because everybody is enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually even hearing it advertised more on radio, TV.
Yeah, we was on the radio, we heard it.
But one other thing, I gotta ask everybody too, and I gotta ask you.
What?
I think when Mercedes gets out of jail, her and her little buddies is gonna straighten things out.
I think she's gonna go back to the club because she has.
Well, no, I mean she's gonna go back to the club, but how is she gonna be received? Because one, she left them all hanging at night. Mississippi stole the show. Her and white girl. Gidget. Whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I can't never fully hair Clifford. It's not gonna get along because they already beefing.
So I think they are beefing, but I feel like once she explains to them what happens, because you know she's a very protective person. If she explains what happens to them, what happened,
I think it's gonna come out anyway. Regardless, because she gonna need somebody to bail her out.
Yeah, listen, everybody needs somebody to bail them out because.
Well, I'm just saying, you never know. Sometimes people got some cops that's cool that wouldn't just release them. You never know.
But yeah, I mean,
it's down the south.
It's crazy. This season so far, that episode was just great. And I wholeheartedly enjoy it, and I cannot wait for the next episode to drop.
I can't wait either. But before we go, we gotta talk one more point. We gotta talk about the mayor in that meeting. Oh, because that's a big meeting. How now all of a sudden he's gonna try and force the foreclosure to happen sooner on the Pynk, regardless of the money. And wasn't just before that meeting happening that Autumn Knight was telling Uncle Clifford that, some people it ain't gonna matter. Some people still gonna try and force the foreclosure whether you got the money or not. And it looks like that's about to happen. That's gonna be something.
This is another person I can't stand, man.
Oh yeah, I definitely can't stand him. But dang, how he talked to his own staff.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, sheesh.
Toxic masculinity, man.
Yo, he would have got it dropped quickly.
Facts.
By somebody. But what did you guys think of the episode? Do you think Mercedes is going to return back to the Pynk? And if she does return, do you think she's going to be accepted, just like nothing ever happened? Or is there going to be some hostility and animosity? So I can guarantee it's going to be something between her and Autumn Knight regarding that return. But who knows? Stay tuned to episode 5.